عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين. والحمد لله رب العالمين. What happened? I lost it. You see. Seal. Now let's listen to you.
So we are continuing on with the elements of belief. The second purpose, introduction. You ask. You say that the second part of the proclamation of testimony, I bear witness that there is no deity but God, and I also bear witness that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. Is a witness for the truth of the first part. And the first part is a witness for the truth of the second part. Is this really so?
I think we studied this last week, do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
So we can just pass on to the answer.
Answer: yes, this is so. The safest and the truest of the ways that lead to knowledge of God. The safest and the truest of the ways that lead to knowledge of God, which is the Kaaba of perfections, is the soundest and most radiant one, which was built by the holy resident of Medina al-Munawwara, upon him be peace and blessings. That resident, Prophet Muhammad, upon whom be peace and blessings, is the spirit of right guidance. His heart is the lamp that illuminates the unseen worlds. His truthful tongue, which is the translator of his heart, is the most articulate and truest of the proofs of the Maker's existence and oneness. That resident, Prophet Muhammad, upon whom be peace and blessings, is the spirit of right guidance. His heart is the lamp that illuminates the unseen worlds. His truthful tongue, which is the translator of his heart, is the most articulate and truest of the proofs of the Maker's existence and oneness. His being and his words are both a light diffusing proof. His being and his words are both a light diffusing proof. Prophet Muhammad, upon him be peace and blessings, is the most decisive and undeniable proof of the Maker. Is the most decisive and undeniable proof of the Maker, of the institution or mission of prophethood, of the resurrection and the afterlife, and of the truth. That is the end to the answer.
Kaaba of perfection. Go back to the beginning of the answer. Knowledge of God, which is the Kaaba of perfection. What do you understand from it? Very bottom of page 1.
So briefly, what comes to my mind right now, knowledge of God really has to do with its absoluteness. So seeing that nothing in this universe has the quality to give existence to things. So just bearing witness to that side, its absoluteness. I think then when one is in acknowledgement of its absoluteness, then you're weeding out everything that seems to, that apparently seem to be creating things or giving qualities to things. And so maybe the Kaaba of perfections point to its absoluteness in this.
No, it doesn't mean. Yeah. Knowledge of God is not only knowing that God must be an absolute being, but all through all of our feelings, we should be aware of the presence of God through all of our feelings, human feelings, knowledge of God. Now, knowing that God exists or must exist is different from having a knowledge of God. You see the difference? It means through all of your feelings, you attribute all these feelings to its source, and you realize that your creator is the creator of all your feelings, as much as you are aware of them, in order to get to know him through your feelings. That is knowledge of God. Being aware of the source of your existence, source of the existence of all of your feelings, and these feelings are given to us in order to know the Creator, but not only as the creator of the universe, that there must be a creator. That's correct, but not only that. all your feelings witness to the qualities of the Creator, and you can experience them within yourself through your feelings. Is it difficult? So is it too early in the morning?
The idea isn't difficult, but
the idea is?
It's not difficult to accept, but at the same time, one knows that there is a limitlessness to feeling, to, you know, there's an abstractness to feeling, and to get, you know, there can be a desire to get an ultimate knowledge of it, but there must be some method to get enough knowledge. You know?
The desire to get
a limitless knowledge
of
God, and
God.
Through your feelings.
Yeah.
But that desire is opposed by your limited nature of your being and your understanding, or capacity also.
But do we have to have an unlimited capacity about our feelings, or just a glimpse of it is enough to demonstrate that your Creator is the source of that feeling, and His qualities must be, His quality, which is witnessed by your feeling, this particular feeling, must be absolute, because of the definition of the Creator. Now, we don't study today. For example, if we have more knowledge, then we will know that we will know better. God is the absolute knower, the one who knows. Can we say that? Or the existence of knowledge, the quality in us, demonstrates that the one who created me with this quality must be the source of knowledge, demonstrating or presenting himself to me that he knows everything. So the amount of knowledge doesn't make much difference. Do you get it?
Experiencing the amount of knowledge, right?
For example, let's say eating one banana makes you realize that the one who created one banana for you is a kind one, merciful one, etc. Caring one, providence one, nourishing one, designer, beautifier. But if you eat 20 bananas, do you think you will have the knowledge of Creator better?
No.
No, because they point to the absolute one.
At the same time, experiencing the feeling of, you know, consuming or eating a banana, and experiencing that same feeling in other realms of your life can give you different knowledge.
Now, it means reminding you.
Sure.
But reminding you the same thing. So it doesn't mean that if we have more of something, we will know God better. No, the method is important. Whatever you have, what do you think of its existence? How do you explain the existence of one banana? or trillion bananas. How do you explain it? If you can explain the existence of one banana as it is created by someone who has all these attributes or the qualities that we have listed, the one who creates and gives form and makes it delicious, makes it beautiful, and all these qualities manifested in one banana, and introduce the creator of that one banana to you as the one who has all these qualities in absolute form, because he's the creator, he's the source of it. We are not studying today. We passed that stage of how do we know that he is the absolute one. We studied that much, this aspect of the question. So as long as you reach the absolute, as the creator must be absolute, one banana is enough. But you see that he takes care of not only you, but others as well. What does it do? How does this experience help you to understand that his caring is for everyone? So it helps you to understand that it must be the creator, must be, or creator's mercy, creator's caring must be absolute. But you see everywhere the creation is continuing. And also through observing that this huge universe created in this world, in this type of existence, you understand that nothing is difficult for this creator. Either creating one atom or creating the whole universe is the same. It means absolute. Reassures it. But the more the better is not the principle. So, knowledge of God, in order to have the knowledge of God, we have to use our feelings. If we don't use our feelings, but only concluding that the universe must be the creator, is not the knowledge of God. It is believing God. There is a difference between believing God and knowledge of God. And even it is not our subject today, love of God is another stage. Believing God is the foundation. Knowledge of God, acknowledging His qualities through your human qualities, that establishes the knowledge of God better and really assimilates this belief with your own qualities. And one stage ahead, if you really acknowledge and understand that all your qualities are provided by this creator in order to get to know him and get to know the creator, you go further that, look, he is being kind to me, merciful to me, compassionate to me, generous to me, etc. And you start having or establishing closer relationship with him. The more you are exercising the knowledge of God, the closer you start feeling. And God doesn't become an alien being to you anymore. That's another stage. So he's your everything. And being aware of this ends or results in, because he is your owner, he is your caretaker, he is the one who accomplishes all of your needs and introduce himself and he makes your existence secured. The existence of your feelings secured. Huh? Whatever you want, whatever you desire is from him. So he is the absolute one. You say, okay, if he has given all these senses and needs to me, it means he wants me to know him as the one who has all these qualities, and you understand that you belong to him. Like, I don't know, if you know somebody, let's speak, or give a simple example. If you know somebody who takes care of you, takes care of your needs, what do you appreciate him? Do you love him whatever you want? Now, not only because God has provided you with many things in this world that results in loving him, not only because that, even he gives you only one banana and nothing more. Can you still love him? And next time you need banana and there is no banana. Can you still love him?
Sure.
Oh, good.
Because banana is just a means to get to know its maker. So, I mean, you eat it, it's gone, but it's the meaning that you carried from it that remains with you.
So the meaning
That
points to
its maker.
its maker. You know that this maker is
Absolute.
my maker, and he's absolute. He must be absolute. So that awareness, that knowledge of the Creator is enough to have a trust in him. He's absolute. So you feel close to him. Even the next time you need banana, there is no banana, doesn't matter. You know that the source is absolute. So it gives you security, which all human beings needed. Security in existence. Security in the existence of your human feelings. All the expectations that through your feelings we experience are guaranteed. Even once. We might have experienced them only once, are guaranteed. Why? For example, a person, let's say, he is created, example, with the power of sight, he saw and experienced it for one day, and then he became blind. What happens? It is practical for us to know this. What happens?
He wants to see again.
Sorry?
He wants to see again,
No, he cannot see. He's totally blind.
but he wants to.
Yeah. The desire to see is given to him. And he experienced only one day, through this experience, what did he conclude? One day of seeing, what did he conclude?
My maker is absolute.
He's giving power of sight. He's absolute. His being able to give the power of sight is absolute. So you know that your desire, as you said, once again, we want to see again, will be fulfilled by, not by your eyes.
By whatever made the desire.
Yes, this desire and this ability that let you experience only once. Do you understand that? Because we are, this seems to be a problem for us. We want everything, or all of our human needs to be satisfied. Where?
No.
Now, here.
Here now.
In this creation.
Yes.
But in this creation, what's happening? Nothing. You experience one day of power of sight, or 10 or 100 years of power of sight. As long as it is transient, it is not important. But you are aware that the one who created you with the power of sight and demonstrated that he is the source of power of sight. So that one day experience secures you that your desire to see will be satisfied by the one who creates it, by the one who creates the desire to see. Although we may not experience here, most of the time we get disappointed. For example, we have been eating food throughout all our life. One day we are left without any food. What we do? We start criticizing the Creator, saying, why don't you give me food now? Because of the dislocation of the focus. The point in eating is not to eat here in this world. Do you get it? The point is receiving the food to eat. What is the point? Acknowledging
The source.
the source. So what we are mostly lost in amount, quantity, not quality. Quality is pointing to the absoluteness of the source. Quantity, I want to eat, I want to eat, I want to eat, I want to eat, and die. Of course, the Creator usually provides what we need until we die, usually. But at the same time, we know that gradually we age. And it shows us that, look, don't make this world as the ultimate purpose of your satisfaction.
Which is there?
Ultimate satisfaction here. Don't expect it. So either one day or 100 years does not make any difference in reality. But it is the grace of the Creator that it is the grace of the Creator that He repeats giving But it's not important. That's why we get disappointed when a person dies young. When an old man dies, we don't get disappointed. That is a misuse of our purpose of existence in this world. It doesn't mean that we should die. No, that is the desire to live. That is another subject. But experiencing equality only once guarantees, as far as your connection with the Creator is concerned, guarantees that your Creator is the source of that equality. And He must be absolute. Don't worry about it, whether you are given a life of certain amount of years or more or longer, doesn't matter. The nature of this world is what? To have the opportunity to experience the qualities of your Creator, Creator of your senses, through your senses. This is called knowledge of God. Now, you wanted this past.
I wanted to say that I want to check my understanding. If there's lack of provision, it creates
There is
lack of provision.
provision, yeah.
It creates a tension. And that tension forces you to reflect. And I guess say attach you, that reflection will make you attach to understand and attach to the absolute source. In other words, if there was
why
no
do you
such
say a lot of provision?
lack of provision.
That was my mistake.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't
So-
matter really. Yeah.
So the lack of provision creates this tension. And that tension drives you like, I guess, vertical. Otherwise you're here, you're horizontal. If you have everything, you get lost in it. Or you live for
You
it.
may,
You may.
you
And then
may
when-
not. You may not.
You may
Depends
or
on your attitude towards the creation of anything.
Fair enough, but I think everyone experiences lack of provision, some form, in
Of
health
course.
or wealth or any emotions, whatever.
Because we will, if we have time, we will go further and study further. Human expectations
Are never met.
never are met in this world. And that's why we have to need how to educate them ourselves. And that's why we need teachers to help us. How are we going to deal with this human expectations? Because in fact, human expectations are all endless. In fact, endless. Do we get that? No end. But we know that the nature of this creation is not endless. Definitely there is an end. So what are we going to do? So how are we going to deal with these feelings? That's why the messengers are needed to train us, educate us, how to operate our feelings, how to use them. That's our subject now. Now the knowledge of God, it says, the text says, which is the, actually Kaaba means, Kaaba represents what? Perfection. Kaaba represents what?
Absoluteness.
The Kaaba, the pinnacle of perfection. Yeah? The word Kaaba, not the building there, the building is nothing. The word Kaaba is the pinnacle of, commonly known among the people as Tawheed, oneness of God. Commonly known among the people. Kaaba represents oneness of God. But what does oneness of God mean? The oneness of God means just not one, but not two. No. Absoluteness of God. Yeah? The absoluteness of God in terms of what? Not in terms of his being. We have no idea what his being. And it is not my concern. Because I'm responsible for my conditions here in this world. So in this world, what I do, see the act of creation and deduce the meaning from these acts of creation. Creation of what? Every quality. Everywhere I say in me and outside of me, and it means the things around me. And they have their own qualities. And we know that the source of existence of these qualities must be
Absolutely.
yeah. But today we are not studying how do we conclude that. There are the chairs. Can somebody take chairs? The brownies are for you. So, pinnacle of perfection is knowledge of God. What does it mean? We turn the Kaaba into the word Kaaba into pinnacle. Pinnacle of perfection for human beings is knowledge of God. Who will explain this to me? Does it make sense to you? Anyone? Pinnacle of perfection. It means really the real perfection, ultimate perfection is knowledge of God. Let's make the case clear by comparison. If there is no knowledge of God, awareness of God, what do we see? Do we see any perfection in this world? As far as we are concerned, yes, the existence seems to be perfect, but as far as we are concerned, my existence is not perfect. Not because I am lacking something. No, my desires are not satisfied in this world. So I don't feel that my existence is perfect yet. So knowledge of God makes our life perfect. Although we may be suffering from some illnesses, something like that, doesn't matter. We have to understand this. We need to understand this. Otherwise, what we do, we treat the Creator according to what we are given here. If He gives me whatever I need to my full satisfaction, I am happy with it. But I cannot be, because my full satisfaction is not possible. Why? At the end, I get old and die. In this type of creation, I have to utilize this type of creation. I have to use this type of creation in order to know its source. So we have to understand that. It is difficult. I know it is difficult. For me also, it's difficult. The amount is not important. amount of what we receive is not important. Just being aware of the existence of inequality is the important. What does it mean? When I see that this quality only once, I experienced only once, whatever it is. The example we gave before, we ate only one banana in our whole life. And we desired to repeat, but it didn't happen. We couldn't get it. Does it matter? Yeah, I mean, it seems to be, yes, it does matter. No. It doesn't matter. We should understand that. Because by experiencing one banana, what did you do? You become aware of the creator of the banana. And all the qualities you experience in that particular banana is given by its creator and pointing to the qualities of its creator. You become aware of it. That's it. That is knowledge of God. And knowledge of God itself is the pinnacle of perfection for human beings. I know it is difficult to digest, but it is really interesting. Otherwise, what we do, we bargain with God. If you give me more, I will thank you more. It's not important. I came to know who my Lord is, who my owner is, who my creator is, and which kind of qualities this creator has. I secured my existence then. If the source of existence of these qualities is absolute, must be absolute, if I conclude that, that's it. It doesn't mean that we should eat one banana and not eat more. No. If he gives you, that's it. Take it. But the problem rises when it is not given according to our expectations. Then the problem rises. First you and then.
We use the language in this class quite frequently, points to the qualities of the creator, points to. So in the case of the banana, we can observe it provides nourishment, it is nutritious, and it is sweet.
Design, beauty,
So
purpose.
I see. You answered my question in that.
Nicely covered, meaningfully. Yeah.
So explicitly, you've already answered my question, but now to make sure, I was going to ask, that doesn't necessarily mean the creator is nutritious or sweet. It's not the characteristics of the banana are shared characteristics of the creator, but rather the creation of the banana and all its qualities point to the creative characteristics of the creator.
Yeah,
the design, the beauty, the elegance, the science, whatever that went into it.
The science that we observe in the existence of banana, through the science, we conclude that whoever has given existence to this banana must be absolute. And in his qualities also must be absolute. His qualities that we observe within the existence of banana. That is human perfection. It's very interesting, but I know it is very difficult to digest. We want full satisfaction in this world. That's why we need training. We need training. How are we going to deal with our feelings which require satisfaction in this world endlessly? Contradiction. Because there's no endless satisfaction in this world. But we want it. But this one thing, this desire is not harmful, it's not wrong. We have to utilize it. So if I am given the desire for eternity, eternal satisfaction, if this world never provides the eternal satisfaction, it means my creator of this desire is promising me that by creating this desire in me, he will satisfy. That's why human perfection lies in acknowledgement of God. Do you understand it? Or do we have further questions? We may talk about it more actually. It's very practical.
Theoretically, just being aware or just saying I is enough knowledge of the existence of God. And
But through,
I mean, you don't need anything else but to just say,
be
I
aware of
exist.
his.
And that I is also
Exist.
created. So, evidence-wise, that's enough. That's enough of an avenue to get, what we're talking about in terms of knowledge of God at the pinnacle of perfection, is acknowledging God within your ability to say me or I.
Yeah, through your creation, through your existence,
Mhm.
although through the existence of your human qualities. Can you acknowledge God from any other venue that is not within you? No, impossible. That's very important. Again, quite important points. These are important points. We know the Creator only through our human feelings or abilities or potentials. Nothing else. But the contradiction needs some sort of education to deal with. It is not easy. How are we going to deal with these contradictions? Because we want satisfaction, and the satisfaction requires endless satisfaction, but in this world, there is no endless satisfaction. Okay, fine, but I want endless satisfaction. How am I going to deal with this desire that everything must be, every need that I feel must be satisfied infinitely? How am I going to do this here? For example, the wars, jealousy, and eager to have more, never ending, of course. These are human qualities. How am I going to deal with them? Yeah. That needs training. I think this paragraph actually mainly deals with this subject. Mainly, it means knowledge of God is real human perfection. There is no other human perfection. Can you think of another human perfection? Let's talk about it. Give examples. Human perfection. Can you think of any? Anyone? It means when you are quiet. But what the culture, the civilization teaches us, if you do this, you will be perfect.
me of what you want to be.
Yeah, athletes or
Yeah.
celebrities.
Yeah.
Do you think they reached the human perfection? They are satisfied fully in their being? Why not? Or the richest man, let's say, possible richest man. Do you think he has reached his human perfection, but human perfection? Not imaginary. But this civilization, the secular civilization, injects into our minds that if we do this in this world, we will be more perfect. If we do that, we will be more perfect. But in fact, as far as the existential side of the matter is concerned, knowledge of God is the only way to reach your perfection and full satisfaction.
Why does it feel also appropriate to say that it is
So
also, why does it feels appropriate for me to also say that knowledge of self is perfection, is human perfection.
But
self is given to me, so inevitably
but
it's
don't
attached.
stay there. Knowledge of self is for what?
To get to
I
know the
know
source
myself.
of your creation.
Yeah, you have to go there.
But ultimately, as we're talking about, we're talking about examples such as the banana and other things, but ultimately, the only example is yourself.
Yes, it's through your own feelings that you understand what banana is. For example, if you didn't have the sense of hunger, if you didn't feel the need to eat a banana would be nothing for you.
But I think that ultimately, more than even your hunger, your feeling of being aware of yourself, or being investigating your thoughts or your way of reasoning or the voices in your head, more than any other feeling, that feeling is, feels like a more direct way or
Yes, this is more direct. I understand that using the self, actually,
you forget hunger, you forget other worldly feelings, you just then focus on.
In fact, everything goes through our self. If we didn't have the qualities, we wouldn't be able to be aware of the existence of the qualities of the other things. Yeah, if I didn't have the sense of beauty, appreciating the beauty, how can I appreciate the beauty manifested in the world? In other things, I don't have the sense. But this language needs clarification. Everything is the knowledge of self. No, everything departs from the knowledge of self, springs from the knowledge of self. But this is the starting point. We have to be aware that, yes, if I did not exist, the existence of the universe would mean nothing for me. So only I exist that I understand the qualities manifested in the universe. Only I realize that I exist, and through my qualities that I can see what is manifested in the universe out there. That is correct, but we have to take the self as a source of recognition of the truth or the reality of the reality of my existence is. That is correct, but in order to know who the source of my existence is, so that as soon as we realize that the source of my existence must be the absolute one, If we realize that, my being, myself, gains perfection. Otherwise, if you don't attach your being, yourself, to its creator, its source, you become selfish. And can you satisfy yourself by yourself? Nothing, no one. Because this is the beauty of this creation in this world. Beauty of this creation. We have endless desires and the world doesn't satisfy anything. Or this type of creation never satisfies my human expectations. But I have the human expectations. This is the important part. Now, another phrase here, heart. Now, he says his heart in the second page. His heart is the lamp that illuminates the unseen words. Now, your point is here now. His heart, the text is about messengership. So he refers to the messenger. So, but messenger represents what? Messenger represents what?
Speech of the Creator in human form.
Say it again.
Speech of the Creator.
Speech.
Of the Creator. In human
Speech. Did you say speech? Yeah.
Of the
Speech of the Creator
in human form.
in human form. It means
Verbal explanation.
another human being like me. Right?
Mhm.
When you look at the messenger, you should see yourself there. But when you see yourself in the existence of the messenger, it means he is the one who is teaching you how to reach the perfection in your human being by using, in your humanity, by using your human qualities. Do you get it? So the messenger represents yourself. So, for example, like the teacher, we give it this example frequently. The teacher teaches you what? What you don't know. What you don't know. But after learning it, what you discover? This is in you. This is in you. You learned it. Now you become aware of the existence of whatever the teacher taught you. So you discover yourself, your potentiality. So if the messengers are the teachers employed by your creator, they teach you nothing but what is in you. But they help you to uncover them. Like the professors or the teachers help you understand what you have already. Let's say, very simple example, very simple practical example. You take a driver's course, right? There's an instructor, teaches you to do through the instruction of this person. After you learn how to drive, you discover that, the ability to drive was in me. I didn't discover it, but he helped me. That is why human beings need what? Teachers, education, training. Especially if we want to train our human qualities and reach the perfection by using our human qualities, What we need, a teacher who is employed to teach me the purpose of the existence of my human qualities. How can I flourish them? How can I become aware of them? How can I utilize them? So it is, this subject, of course, we are warming up. We are at the beginning of the subject. We are warming up. This subject is not easy because our understanding, the cultural way of understanding the messengership blocks our way of thinking. But the cultural understanding of messengership is the prophet comes and instructs you what to do, what not to do, and what God asks you to do. And it is not really related to your human existence or the human feeling and how to train them. These instructions are correct only after where you realize that these instructions are only the means to practice your reality. For example, why do you fast? Why do you fast? There are two ways of approaching the same subject. God asked me, ordered me to fast, and the prophet passed this order of God to me, and I have to fast. That's one way. That's usually people say, of course, it is our duty. As Muslims, we have to fast. It has nothing to do with the reality of my existence. So, shouldn't I fast? No, I have to practice. Practice what? To appreciate what is going on in me and connect in my existence and connect myself to the creator of the things that I am mindful, opposite of mindful, unmindful.
Ignorant?
Mindless, sorry? Mindless.
Conscious?
Yeah, unconscious, mindlessly. I keep eating when I'm hungry or when I feel thirsty, or sometimes even I don't feel thirsty just because I'm used to. I keep drinking, I keep eating, and I don't think it becomes a regular thing for me. And when I'm hungry, I eat. If I have the food. Now, I don't really pay attention to what's going on as far as the relationship between me and what I am consuming. I don't need this. I am not aware of it, that I need to be trained. Fasting ultimately is not important, but it is a means of training that we need to acknowledge that I am in need of it, and my need is provided and satisfied by the one who created me, who created these things, just training. So fasting is a training as far as the awareness of what is going on in my life is concerned. I have to be aware of what am I doing here.
How do we know this is the fasting in this case is the appropriate training? There are many trainings. Just observing is training. How do we make the leap from living a life of observation to choosing to fast to learn?
It's one way of it, not the only way. The one way of it, common way of it. We have to understand that the prophets treat the people, or they introduce the practical side of our reality to experience our reality for a common purpose, for a common base. So, for example, I feel that I have to practice fasting from time to time. Yes, make it a means of acknowledgement for myself. Now, it's not the only way, but this is applicable to every human being, that when they fast, they understand what they're supposed to understand. They may not. If someone is religious and they say this is our religious duty, they don't understand anything. I mean, I don't know who this person is, but generally speaking, but really, it gives you the opportunity to acknowledge that, look, I'm hungry now, or I shouldn't eat it because I have to acknowledge the source. That's why I am going through a training. That is why the prophets introduced what to do, what not to do, as well as the theoretical base of belief system.
The second part there makes sense and fits into the framework of this class, which is the act of fasting is a training and it helps us observe and understand ourselves and our Creator. That makes perfect sense. You said, though, just a minute ago, that simply because somebody said to do something should not be why we do something, right? We should come to our own conclusion. So I've not observed the prophet, not in my own reality, right? It's just something that's being told to me and passed on. Yes, fasting is good. I understand why it's training and how it helps me acknowledge. But the specific leap from living a life of observation to fasting to achieve that observation, that connection to me seems it can only be made by following somebody simply because they said to do something. Is that wrong?
Do you think that if you observe the prophet, it would mean it would help you to understand better?
That's good. No,
No.
I still have to come to my own conclusion.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so this is important really to observe the prophet, to be next to the
That's
prophet,
right.
nothing.
That's right.
It doesn't mean it doesn't aid you anything else. What you make out of it is important.
Yeah.
So there is no need, for example, a textbook, but there is an author and he wrote the book, textbook, and you are learning. Does it really matter whether you know the author or not? What you are learning from it is important. But it is an author, we know that. So we have to analyze the prophetic teaching in this sense, not in the personal sense. The personal experience of the prophet has nothing to do with
I
it.
understand. Yeah. Thank you.
So this word helps us. His heart is the lamp that illuminates the unseen world. It means, he said, his heart represents what? Heart of human beings. Because when you said the self, to be aware of yourself is everything. It starts from it. Yeah. So a heart of human being is the lamp that illuminates the unseen world. What does the heart of human being represent? What does the heart of human being represent? Human feelings, yeah, human qualities, human feelings. That's what a heart represents. So let's say human feelings are the lamps, but forget about the lamp actually. Human feelings illuminate the unseen world. Make the sentence simple. Human feelings illuminate the unseen words. What are the unseen words?
The meaning that you wrote.
the meaning of the creation points to all the meaning. So only through human feelings that we can perceive the meaning of the creation and what they point to, all this creation, the meaning of the creation points to is the unseen world. It was the meaning.
Does it mean human feelings, or does it mean in the reason behind, or reasoning human feelings, like processing them, or intellectual sort of like an understanding of your feelings?
Of course, human feelings include reasoning, definitely.
They have, I mean, they have.
Yeah, because without reasoning, the feelings themselves do not operate if we don't reason. For example, let's assume that there is a man who doesn't have reasoning power of reasoning. Is he aware of human feelings? He just lives like an animal. Because he doesn't know, like animals, I don't know, the animals don't have reasoning or none of my business, but it looks like instinctive motives. When he's hungry, he eats. He never thinks, what does it mean? So without all human feelings make sense if they are reasoned about. Otherwise, you don't become aware of it. If you are not aware of it, how would you know that what they are referring to, what they are experiencing in this world? So, the end of the paragraph says, now we need to understand the mission of prophethood or messengership. Mission of the prophethood and messengership in order to, no, not in order to. We need to understand the mission of the prophethood as we understand ourselves. What does it mean? As we understand ourselves. How can I explain this? For example, I know that I want to be satisfied eternally. That's what my feeling. Okay, I want eternal or absolute or limitless or infinite satisfaction. That's how every human being is. But by looking at the universe, what I find, we always keep this expression. In this creation, in our life here, what do we find? I want eternal satisfaction, but if we think of this world as it is perfect, it is wonderful, but there is no eternal satisfaction for human beings. What am I going to do?
Look for it.
Sorry?
Look for it.
Look for it where?
Anywhere.
But in the universe, I cannot look for eternal satisfaction apart from this universe, because I cannot go out of the universe. Eternal satisfaction. I'm not saying you are hungry today and you need breakfast and you need satisfaction. No, in this world. There's a contradiction. Right?
Only temporarily. You know, the contradiction is reasoned into explanation.
What did you want?
Like, for example, if I have an eternal desire,
Eternal satisfaction.
a
Desire for
desire
eternal
for
satisfaction.
eternal satisfaction,
Mhm.
I can also reason in explaining to myself that that is not possible within the conditions of this
Yeah.
universe. But since I have this question or this desire, there must be an answer.
Yeah, there must be.
Whether or not I can see it or experience it or not, logically speaking, there must be.
There must be, but there is no sign.
But I mean, reasoning, using my human qualities,
No.
that's the best explanation I can come. Then that makes me satisfied.
For example, I don't know whether this is the best example. I bought a laptop or anything, an iPad or an iPhone. And of course, it bothers me if something goes wrong, what shall I do? I don't know how to repair it. It is not within my capacity. But if the producer of the iPhone or the thing I bought, whatever it is, tells me if something goes wrong, please send it to this address, we will repair it and back. Give it back. I don't know if this is the best example. Just, I'm trying to understand and simplify it. I need guidance, I need information from the maker of the thing, let's say laptop. From the maker of the laptop, I need this information to make sure that if something goes wrong, I won't be disappointed. I need this information. That's the heart of the mission of the prophethood. What about things that we don't find the answer within this universe, feel that but they are pointing to something else, and what does it mean for me? I puzzle. I need information, instruction from the creator of me, from the creator of the universe, to let me know how can I make a satisfied heart that if something goes wrong, I will be guaranteed. It means something for everybody will definitely go wrong. When? For everyone will definitely go wrong. When?
When you die.
When we die. Yeah. Why? Everything seems to be coming to an end, and black end, dark end, meaningless end. Do you feel that? Unless, but you don't want to go into annihilation. You don't want to have an end to your existence. That's how we are. Okay? That's how our feelings are. How can I solve this problem? And if you like, producer of me and the manufacturer of this universe and manufacturer of me sends the news, say, if something happens against your desire, because I want laptop not to break down, but it may, and if it is sure like death, it will definitely break down one day. And death is definite. And then what shall I do? And then the manufacturer of this universe and manufacturer of me sends the news by verbal explanation saying, don't worry, if you die, send it to me. It means a touch of existence to the absolute being, and absolute being absolute being is promising you eternal happiness. That is the assurance that we need. Do you experience in your personal life, if there was no eternal existence, how do you feel in this world before you die? You imagine there is no eternal existence. What would you do? What do you do? Have you ever experienced it? Have you ever thought about it, reflected on it? You did. How did you feel?
You can do anything now.
Not only you can do anything,
There are no
your
rules.
being right now becomes meaningless. Right now.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do anything.
You don't want to do anything,
Because there's no point.
everything is meaningless. Yeah? You are going to graduate and get the degree, but at the end, the degree will not give you any happiness, anything. What do you do? Cheer it up.
I can't either do anything or just do nothing. I don't know.
I mean, anything means really don't care about your life.
You can be like dessert.
I don't care about anything. That if this news is not with us, from the manufacturer of this universe, and including me inside, that we will be given eternal life through this messenger or the how do you say, manufacturer's handbook. There, in case your laptop breaks down, send it to this address. We will give you another one. Don't worry about it. What do you feel? Why do you think people buy extended guarantee? That's what we want. Even if you don't want extended guarantee because some other reasons for financial considerations, etc., are you not happy that the thing you bought will be guaranteed by the manufacturer for a year? You feel what?
Secure.
More secure. Right? Can you imagine that a manufacturer says for life? They can say nothing but for life. Guaranteed for life. But the manufacturer says for life because they cannot say eternally. It means until you die. Every insurance company guarantees something. If they do, they say, but in practice, when you are in trouble, they come up with the fine writings that you are not covered there. You say you have to pay more than what you have to pay for the repair of something because of how are they called? Deductibles. So they are tricky. But if you think that it is not tricky at all, it is really perfect. What do we want? We love it. That's what we want to get this news, this guarantee. Explain to me. This is the mission of the prophets, to tell us what is the purpose of being in this world. What is it? Why are we here? Why? Why are we here? And what is the purpose of existing in this type of universe? I need explanation. Otherwise, it will be very disappointing. I don't, in my personal experience, I don't really mind being ill or something on the losing the property or the job or whatever. Well, I don't want it, but really it's not the ultimate thing for me. But I say, but this is my experience, if there was no eternal existence, everything turns into, is it the right word, jerk? Stupid. Meaning, although the universe is wonderful, but if there is no eternal existence for me, what shall I do with it? Wonderful universe. None of my business, I'm going to die. Do you understand? Do you get this point? And if I'm not going to be given the eternal satisfaction, what am I going to do with the transient satisfaction, temporary satisfaction in this world? Really, really, our minds are not really into this subject because of the heavy influence, effect of the existing secular understanding of being or universe. Every science is based on secular understanding of the universe. Secular means there is this universe, nothing else. That's a secular. You are going to be happy in this world until you die. But in terms, if you really listen to yourself, it really makes you feel horrible, very much disappointed, and meaningless. Your existence becomes meaningless. But unfortunately, because everybody talks about what? Our success, our satisfaction, until we die. Until we die. No one talks about my eternal desire for eternal happiness, eternal existence. I don't hear it. Strangely enough, only those people who describe themselves as prophets talk about eternal existence for human beings. None of the philosophers, none of the civilizations say we are here to experience eternal happiness, but the life in this world is just a tragedy. We are under a very heavy influence of secular understanding of existence, of life. That's why we cannot really get out of this, what do you say, the world.
Mindset?
So it's not obsession, from a dark, meaningless life, but try to entertain our existence until we die. Nothing else. We don't see our existence in terms of eternity. Because no one talks about eternity. None of the science can talk about eternity. None of the philosophers talk about eternity. Only the prophets come with this. That's why this says the institution of the prophethood, of the resurrection and afterlife, we have to know. And these are only possible by the presence of the prophets, messengers. It is not a joke that historically the people narrate that not only one part of the history, known history, is mentioned in the scriptures. Almost every age has a prophet. Of course, theoretically, not every age. In every age, in every community, there must be a prophet, at least representing the message of the prophet. There must be, otherwise, the whole existence becomes meaningless. Think about it and try to understand why we don't get satisfaction in this world. Always something goes wrong. Always we are experiencing the shortcomings. Always we want more, and we don't understand what we are doing, what we are after. We don't know. We don't realize. I think this is a very important subject for me and for you as well. Inshallah, we concentrate on it. We should stop, the time is up. Okay, that's a new creation, type of creation for the season. Good. Thank you very much. So in the morning, people need something to wake up. But these ideas are heavy, because this is not in our life. We are not really dealing with them, generally speaking. And we don't hear. We don't hear anywhere, apart from, I wanted to stop, but apart from the prophets, but unfortunately, I have to say, we call them religious, so religion, that's religious, religion, and the prophets are the source of religion, and the religion is represented by certain communities. We will study this next week. Certain communities, and how it is presented to us, to me, I will speak on my own behalf, does not make sense at all. So what I do, I ignore religion, I ignore the prophet, the mission of the prophet, because what is he brought? This is what he brought to me. It doesn't make sense. It is represented by the community. So we have to go beyond the limitations of the community and understand it within our own reality as we exist, as we are. Bring it to ourselves. Never associate the prophetic mission to a community. Never. In any sense, not only in Islamic sense. In Christianity, never think of what the Christianity or Jesus is teaching in terms of the community, Christian community, or Judaism, or other, whatever they are, wisdom. So get rid of it, understand the concepts independently. That's another subject that disappoints me very much. Because people, when you say religion, when you say believe in God, when you say messenger, immediately comes to our mind what? Community. Representing certain this religion, and we look at the community, what do they say? Listen to them, doesn't make sense. And you say, forget about it. Let me look for another source to satisfy my human needs. Thank you very much. سبحانك لا علم لنا الا ما علمتنا انك انت العليم الحكيم.